For heaven's sakes, every parent in America is checking social media, and every employer is as well, but our government can't do it.
That was a moment for Carly Fiorina tonight, but as we mentioned earlier, Fiorina and some of the other candidates seemed at times overshadowed by the sharp exchanges between Ted Cruz versus Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush versus Donald Trump. The one fight that many expected, Trump versus Cruz, we did not get. Instead, we saw this.
He has a wonderful temperament. He's just fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Senator Cruz, you have not been willing to attack Mr. Trump in public, but you did question his judgment in having control of America's nuclear arsenal during a private meeting with supporters.
What I said in private is exactly what I'll say here, which is that the judgment that every voter is making of every one of us up here is who has the experience, who has the vision, who has the judgment to be commander-in-chief. That's a standard I'm held to, and it's a standard everyone else is held to.
What you're saying right now is you do believe Mr. Trump has the judgment to be commander-in-chief.
What I can tell you is all 9 of the people here would make an infinitely better commander-in-chief than Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton.
Chris Stirewalt is our Fox News digital politics editor, and Howie Kurtz is host of Fox News' Media Buzz. Good to see you both. So Noah Rothman of Commentary Magazine tweeted out whether that moment was going to turn some voters off to Cruz because of his servility. I mean, he looked like, like, okay, don't. And it's like, Trump, you better not question me. And it's like, did that moment project Cruz as presidential, Chris?
Look, that looked like that Ted Cruz was a caddy at a Trump golf course and had lost track of an errant 5-iron shot, and he took it off of Trump. I get why he did it, because he wants to wait to take down Trump. He wants to wait to fight.
It's smart, even though it might not look good in the moment.
But I tell you what, calculation of that nature can do serious damage because voters are doing this in real time. Ted Cruz understands the form of the race. He understands where all this goes and all that stuff. But boy, that was cringy. That did not feel good to watch, and you didn't feel good for Ted Cruz subjecting himself to it.
Yeah, Howie, your take on it?
Ted Cruz could not have hugged Donald Trump any tighter if they were long-lost brothers. And I predicted on this program last night that Trump was not going to repeat the maniac comment, that he was going to make nice with Ted Cruz. He would be on his best behavior because that worked for him. Nobody really landed a blow on Donald Trump. Jeb Bush annoyed him a couple of times, and he came back and he said, I'm at 42 and you're at 3. He loves to throw that polling math around. But by and large, when you have a big lead like Donald Trump, you don't want to upset the apple cart, and so that he pursued a smart strategy. That's why Cruz versus Rubio became the main event.
Does it matter to anybody that Donald Trump is a very different person on this debate stage than he is the day prior to he gets to the debate stage? It's like you just said that he's a maniac and that he doesn't get along with the establishment. You need somebody with a better temperament. And then the next day, it's like he's got a great temperament and forget all that stuff I said.
Megyn, that was then, this is now. I mean, Trump lives in the moment, and on the debate stage, he conducts himself with a certain decorum. And in an interview or at a rally, he lets the rhetoric fly. And on Twitter, certainly, we've seen that.
I know what we saw Stirewalt moments ago in the lunch focus group was he means what he says. Well,
he means what he says.
At that exact moment, he's saying it.
I think that Howie Kurtz lives in the moment should be the new standard for political honesty. I wasn't flip-flopping. I wasn't changing my point of view. I was living in the moment. I was living out loud. I was being me, the best me that I could be.
Finding my best self. Okay, let's talk about the other moments that stuck out. First of all, Stirewalt, do you think anybody won?
No, well, I mean, Trump won in the sense that he didn't lose. He's the front runner. He's out in front. Nobody messed with him, so he won. I think Rubio is good at this. He is awfully good at this. He is getting better and better and better. And for Jeb Bush, Chris Christie, others who think that they're going to have the chance to take out Rubio, it's time to start packing it in. This ain't happening for him.
You think that's true?
Well, no breakout moment for anybody else on that stage. Rubio and Cruz, the 2 Cuban-American senators, are the best orators in the field right now.
Chris Christie does very well, too. He's done well every debate, but his poll numbers don't really change.
Yeah, I thought he wasn't quite as domineering this time as in the last couple of debates. But also, when Cruz and Rubio were going at it over, as you pointed out, immigration and NSA surveillance, I think they got into this legislative language and it became harder to follow. And I think they kind of canceled each other out. I'm sure partisans of both men would disagree, but basically that was the wash. So the race pretty much unchanged, except we see how fundamentally the terror attacks have changed the tenor of this debate from all these questions.
What do you make of, okay, so Chris Christie, I shouldn't say his poll numbers never change. They don't change on a national basis, Chris, but he's doing well in New Hampshire, right? So he had a moment tonight on Syrian refugees. Watch this.
I'm not going to let Syrian refugees, any Syrian refugees in this country, and it was widows and orphans, by the way, and we now know from watching the San Bernardino attack that women can commit heinous, heinous acts against humanity just the same as men can do it. And so I don't back away from that position for a minute. When the FBI director tells me that he can vet those people, then we'll consider it, and not a moment before, because your safety and security is what's most important to me.
Governor Kasich.
Well,
Does he have any chance, Chris?
Well, yes, he has a chance in this sense. As Jeb Bush disappears, and boy, his attack on Donald Trump, what a backfire. Trump should pay Jeb Bush to stay in the race just so that he can beat him up.
Which one was a
Jeb
backfire?
Bush. Oh, the whole thing, because Jeb looks tenuous when he does it. The former governor comes out and he seems like he is strained, and he is not.
It's a little like watching like the gymnast
and
the balance being like, I don't know if he's going to make it.
Right, or a dog on a freshly waxed floor trying to get across, and the claws are going out from underneath, and you think, you're going to make it to the other side, man?
Ball. That's just mean.
That's just mean. Chris Christie, contrast what Chris Christie was doing to what Jeb Bush was doing, and you see how Chris Christie, if he can pull off a first place in New Hampshire or second place to Trump, that he could be a big problem for Marco Rubio down the stretch.
Fascinating. What were you
Ben
saying?
Carson kind of disappeared tonight.
Ben Carson.
Reince pubis.
Stirewalt, love that.
Gonna go there.
I was following you on. Okay, can you explain before I let you go why you're referencing pubis?
He meant to say Reince Priebus, but he said Reince pubis, and
Stirewalt
Twitter
probably
laughed.
took to Twitter to say, I think Reince should go with it.
It's totally gangster. Embrace.
Goodbye.